Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer maps from worst to best. So the game's been out for about a week now, and I decided, well, a lot of people are discussing that the maps are really bad in this game. That's what the overall community opinion is right now, and I don't completely agree with that. I think some of them are bad, I think some of them are good, so I decided, why don't we rank them? Now, this is only going to be the 6v6/10v10 maps. I'm not going to be including the ground war maps or the gunfight maps. Those are their own separate thing, and quite frankly, they're kind of hard to rank because we only have two ground war maps. So if I were to do a category of just ground war maps, you'd just be comparing two of them. And the gunfight maps all feel pretty similar to one another, so I don't really feel like ranking those either. So just the 10 classic maps that we have within this game right now. A lot, more will come in the future. We're probably going to get new DLC ones within a month from now, I'm sure. But just for now, these are the launch maps. Let's rank them. We'll talk about them. Let me know your ranking in the comment section below, and let's get into it, starting with the number 10 spot, the worst map in this game. So what I believe is the worst map right now in Call of Duty Modern Warfare is EUPHRATES Bridge. EUPHRATES Bridge is one of the worst design maps in Call of Duty history. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It's almost similar design as to a map like Gustav Cannon from World War II, which we all know Gustav Cannon was a bad map. I understand what they were going for. They made it so there was this bridge that, connected, kind of connected two parts of the map, but it wasn't like a normal straight-on connection. It was connecting it through the sides of the bridge, and so you can go on top of the bridge, you can go below it, and then there's the two sides, and they wanted to kind of make it feel like that, but the map ends up playing like shit, mainly because of the spawns. The spawns are really bad on this map. It never flips. So if you're playing domination, they never flip. You're going to literally be in your spawn the entire game, most likely, unless you're able to get your whole team to just rush the other side. But my main problem with this map is that it's just so open, and in the open areas, there's a couple buildings and the distance, and what people do is they camp there and they snipe the whole damn game. And there are some locations on this map that if you get to, you literally can see the entire map. You can literally view the entire, there's nowhere you can go on this map where you feel like, you're not going to get shot from behind. There's just so many angles to get shot at. There's just so many locations to get shot at. So even knowing map knowledge doesn't really help, because your map knowledge is, I can get shot from anywhere here, so I might as well just camp. And that's why people tend to camp on a map like this, because of the fact that there's just so many places to shoot you from. This map is poorly designed, and I want to go through and kind of say for each map what I think they can do to make it better. Personally, Euphrates Bridge is one of those maps I don't think they could make better. I think the only way they could is to maybe throw a giant wall in between the map. So as you can see the mini map up here, just put a giant line, like a wall, in between through the map, and have like a couple little locations for you to kind of swoop through in and out. The bridge still kind of gives you cover of a lot of the map, not the whole map like how it does, but this allows for people to be able to actually flank and get around without just getting sniped from each side like a ridiculous amount of times. It's just not a good map. I don't like it. That comes in number 10 spot. Coming in at the number 9 spot, I've got Piccadilly. So Piccadilly and Euphrates Bridge, I think, are the only maps that deserve to be called trash in this game. I think the other maps there's a few not so good ones, but they're not like trash. I think the only really ones that deserve to be given that name is Piccadilly and Euphrates Bridge. I mean, just looking at the mini-map of Piccadilly, you can tell this is just the stupidest design for a map ever. Like, I'm seriously, I don't understand what they were thinking. Now, I understand that previously they wanted to make this game, they didn't want the 3-lane locations. They wanted it to be more, they want to make it feel real, so you were fighting in a real location rather than it being some simulated thing created by game developers. But they have to realize that it is a video game, okay, but this is not real life, and you can still make the locations flow well, but still be real. And all you got to do is just add things that make it work. But this map, it literally looks like they just took this little street area, right? And they just threw a bunch of cars in it. That's all they did. There's no flow to it. There's no design. And what makes it even worse is there's tons of buildings on the outskirts, but not on the inside. The inside's got no buildings, just on the outskirts. So what ends up happening is people just camp in these buildings on the outskirts, and that's where all the fighting goes down. Nobody goes in the middle of this map. Nobody, because that would be really stupid of you, because you would get shot from so many different angles. Same way as Euphrates Bridge, people do not want to get shot, so they don't go for the middle of the map. So when you're playing a match like Domination, people do not go in the middle of this map. They don't. The only way I think they can fix this map is, it's the same deal as Euphrates Bridge. You need to add a lane. You need to add some sort of a wall that goes in between the map. Maybe the bus, because they kind of have like a bus that's a couple buses that are lined up that kind of give you a little bit of a flanking route. Make those buses extend to the scaffolding, right? So when it does that, it gives the people who spawn on the scaffolding side a way to kind of get through, and remove some of the buildings on the sides of the maps too. You don't need those. Those are just empty space that you don't need. These maps work well for like game modes like search and destroy, non-respawn modes, but they don't work for respawn modes. They don't, and I can tell that. Stuff like hide and seek and Michael Myers and like custom games will be really fun on these maps. But for domination, team deathmatch, free-for-all, these ones kind of suck, not gonna lie. Coming in at the number 8 spot, I've got ARKLOV Peak. So this map is honestly just unnecessarily big on the outside. This is going to be a big theme for a lot of the maps. This is similar to Call of Duty Ghosts. There's a lot of areas in the outskirts that just don't need to be there. And those areas, all they do is they're used for spawns, right? But the problem is people start spawning in these back areas, and then they stay back there because they're afraid, because there's other, factors in this game that cause you to be slow, like the loud footsteps, how the minimap works, the time to kill. And the maps don't help with that because people don't want to move. There's so many locations for them to go as well, so many different buildings that they can hide in, so they take those advantages and they do that. That's a problem in my opinion. So if they remove some of these outskirt areas and kind of push you so you're a little bit more towards, so you have to go through the middle of the map, it kind of makes it a little bit more balanced. Keep that right side, keep that left side, and then it plays sort of well. It's a 3-lane map, so that definitely makes it better off. I just think that it's a little one-sided because of how the spawns work and how, the one side has that big-ass building that has those windows, and the other side has that much smaller, like, house that doesn't really work all that well. So I don't hate this map, definitely don't. I think it just needs some work with the outskirts specifically, but the fact that it's 3-laned definitely makes it play much better than the other two, therefore giving it a higher spot on this list. Next up is a map that should be 20v20, but for some reason is 10v10, and that is ANIYAH Place. Or ANIYAH Palace, not Place. Yeah, this map was originally 20v20 within the alpha build of the game, the one when, we were seeing YouTubers play it back in, like, what was it, like May or June or something like that, or July. They were playing 20v20, right? And now it's 10v10, so what happens is it just becomes really slow paced. So I understand maybe 20v20 was just too hectic and maybe that's why they changed it, but just simply look how big it is. If you're going to make it 10v10, remove some of the outskirts. It's the same as the other maps that I've been mentioning. There's too many outer areas that allow you to go through. If you do that, it just makes it a bad map. Or take that little mini section in the middle of the map and make it a 6v6 map. It's got a nice 3-lane structure in the middle. Take that, make it a 6v6 map, and boom, you got yourself a pretty damn good map overall. So I don't know what they're thinking with some of these maps, and I don't know why they would leave this as 10v10, because when you play on this map, they removed it from domination, by the way. They knew it was just absolutely was a terrible game in domination, but it's not even good in team deathmatch. Usually the games will not reach the score limit. You will usually just reach the time limit before the score goes by, which is ridiculous. So ANIYAH Place, not a good map, but not a terrible map either, so I'm putting it number 7. Coming in at number 6 is St. Petrograd. So this map was actually one of my favorites in the when the game first launched, like the first few days. I was like, you know what? This is a really good map because it has kind of a 3-lane structure, but it's a really odd 3-lane structure that really doesn't work all that well. But the only problem that I think in why it doesn't work well is because there's too many buildings. There's too many places to go inside. That is what's causing the main issues with this map. So as you can see in this image here where the yellow triangle is, I think you should probably remove that entire building and keep that a little more open. And if you do that, that makes that open left-hand side of the map, or the bottom side of the mini-map, it makes it so it's more open, and that's like where the snipers are going to go. That's where people are going to want to snipe. So you can choose. You can go that way, maybe get some snipes in if you have a long-range weapon, or you can go through the middle of the map and try to use an SMG. It makes it play so much better, and it can end up being a much more significant map, because what I find happens in this map is not only the spawns really bad, but I find that I'm going through the center of the map, or I'm going through where like the trains are, to that little like center area, and I get killed from enemies from the bottom half of the minimap, right, from that building, and they're even on my side of the spawn when they kill me. So that just means, because when you're on that side, it doesn't really affect the spawns all that much. So you can be getting spawn killed like absolutely crazy, and that's obviously not fun. So I think this map can definitely be made better just by canceling out that little bottom area. But you notice a lot of these are canceling out. I don't find it necessary to add anything to these maps. I think these maps have too much to them, and I think that's a problem with every single one of them, which in some other CODs like Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, I'd be complaining there's not enough to these maps. So that's kind of weird how there's just such an extreme. There's either too much or too little. COD needs to find a way to just get it in the middle, you know what I mean? And I don't know why that's so difficult sometimes, but it is what it is. This comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is GRANZA Raid. We're starting to get to the maps that I consider to be actually kind of good and enjoyable to me. If I get these next 5 maps, I'm actually kind of happy. And I'm like, you know what? This is going to be a good game. And yeah, GRANZA Raid is one of those. So this is one of the 10v10 maps, and I really, really enjoy this 10v10 map. Specifically just because not only is it 3-laned, but it's got an interesting design to it that I actually really enjoy. I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of buildings, and that, like I said, could be a problem. Maybe there's certain places they can take out, like maybe specifically on the bottom side of the map, like the whole daycare area that's on the bottom center, like bottom right of the map. I feel like it's very campy. And then there's also a building towards the top right of the minimap that's also pretty campy. But I feel like it works better because it's 10v10 and you're expecting more players anyways, so you're gonna, not, those campers might not be as big of an issue. And I find the spawns actually to be pretty damn good in this map. I find that they don't really mess up that much, and when they flip when they should, right? But they're not like, I don't really notice spawning too close to others people in this map. I don't really notice too many issues. That top area of the map is kind of interesting. It's more for snipers, but I do like how they have that. So if you wanted to use a long-range weapon in that area, you can. But I noticed that the flanking routes on this map are fair. They're not random. They're easy to predict. And that all just makes it to be better. And I don't know if this is bias or what, because as you're noticing, the beta maps are a lot higher. I mean, this is the first beta map we've covered. The rest of the beta maps are all in the top 5. Therefore, maybe it's biased. Maybe we just had more time with the beta maps. Therefore, we've learned them more. Therefore, we like them more. I don't know if that's the case. It could be. Maybe in like a week's time, I'll find some of those other maps to be better because we'll learn them better. But right now, this is just what I'm thinking of right now, and a lot of people agree with me. So it's not like I'm by myself on this. And I think the logic makes sense to these maps, and there's not much to predict in maps like Piccadilly or ANIYAH Palace or stuff like that. Coming in at number 4, I've got Hackney Yard. So Hackney Yard is interesting. It's very small, one of the smallest maps in the game, obviously one of the smallest classic maps, not Gunfight. This map is kind of 3-laned, but like I said, most 3-laned maps in this game are not exactly like linearly 3-laned. And it works. I think this map really does work. I think the only issue I have is that warehouse can be a bit annoying. There's not enough ways into the warehouse there for people kind of camp in there, and it's really easy to hold it down because of the fact there's not many ways to get in there. There's like maybe 3 different ways to get in there, and it becomes very, very, very campy. I think if you maybe remove that somehow, like maybe add a couple entrances, then it can work better. But as it is right now, it can kind of be a little annoying. I think the building on the top location of the minimap definitely works. It's definitely a fair building. I do like how you can, there's a lot of ways in and out of that building, and it becomes kind of fair even when you're camping in it. Like I don't find it to be that annoying when people camp in it because it's pretty easy to get them out. But it maybe like the B and C or A and B or A and C flags on domination. I don't feel like they should be indoors. I feel this on most maps. They should be outdoors always, because when they're indoors, not only does it make it so people have a reason to camp indoors and cover the flag by being indoors, but also when it comes to kill streaks, it's kind of annoying how you can't kill people off their spawn that easily when they have this safe haven that them just run right into and be safe from any sort of a score streak or kill streak. That's why the kill streaks in this game aren't very good. Coming in at number 3 is a map that people actually hated in the beta, and I did not hate it at all. This is AZHIR Cave. I really, really like AZHIR Cave. It's in 3-lane map, and you're noticing, yeah, there's actually a decent amount of 3-lane maps in this game, and it's kind of funny how the 3-lane maps are the best ones in the game. But the 3-lane of it is really just, it works so well. So you have the cave section, which is a little bit more ant farmy, so it's kind of an annoying location. I don't like going in the cave. It's usually a death sentence. But when you go to the middle of the map, actually not a lot of people go through the middle of this map, to be completely honest, because people know they're going to get killed. So when you go on the other section of the map, it's a little bit more open in that one little section, but then you can hop over to the buildings, and then it's a little more outdoorsy. That's great. The only problem I have with this map is it's too indoorsy, which becomes a problem with kill streaks. They're not as effective. Like, you know, stuff like the chopper gunner is not going to be that great on this map, just simply because of the fact that there's just so many places to go indoors, and that's a problem on a couple maps. But when it comes to, you know, just you might as well just use indoor, you know, streaks like the little drone thingy or like sentry guns. You're better off using those than using the chopper gunners and stuff like that, because you know this map is mainly indoors, which becomes a problem. And I don't think the kill streaks are bad in this game. I think it's just the fact that the maps just really don't do well with them. But this map definitely plays well, and I like it a lot for that reason. Don't really have much to change for it other than maybe put some open hatches in the cave, so maybe let some light in a little bit, and that's where people can, you know, you can shoot from with the chopper gunner. So it gives you more places to kill when you call in streaks, I guess. I don't know. That'd be nice, though. But that comes in at number 3 spot. Coming in at number 2 is RAMMAZA. So RAMMAZA is interesting because if you guys watched my live stream when I was first playing the game on launch day, I was pissed this map. It was the first 2 games I played was on this map, and it was just like, all right, I don't want to play this map anymore. But after playing it a bunch, it's really good. Now, just like the previous map, it has that problem where there's too many indoor places, so streaks suck on this map. Gonna be honest, streaks are trash on this map. I got a chopper gun, I think I got like 1 kill with it, and it was a full-on 6v6 game. That was annoying. But I really like how this map plays regardless. It's a really good run and gun map, so you can actually do well running gunning. Even though people do camp, it still is, you can still be effective running gunning with like MP5, AUG, MP7, whatever. There's a lot of locations to go and a lot of flanking routes, but like I said, they're predictable flanking routes, just like a map like GRANZA Raid. You're able to predict them a little bit better, so you can kind of know, okay, this is where people are coming from, this is where people aren't coming from. And it's not a beta map, and that's when you know if it's not a beta map, then it's goddamn good, because I like it this much, and it's not even a beta map. So we've had less time to learn it, but it's still a pretty easy map to learn nonetheless, and it makes sense. The spawns make sense, where you are on the map makes sense, and I just think the only way to make this map better is to, like I said, remove some of the buildings in the middle of the map, maybe on the outskirts, maybe remove the A and C flag from the indoors, and make it so kill streaks can actually get some damn kills on this damn map. But yeah, that comes in at the number 2nd place. And coming in at number 1, you know it, I know it, is Gun Runner. So Gun Runner was a beta map, and I love it. Love this map, man. I really, really think it works phenomenal. And it's weird because there are a lot of outskirt areas on this map, but they actually work well, and I don't really know what it is that makes them work well. And it's not a very symmetric map at all. I mean, you got the train section of the map and the other section, and it's even on a downward hill, but it's just the flanking routes, just like these other maps, you can predict them, right? You can kind of hold yourself down in this map in a significant way without really camping. There's a lot of ways to get through different locations of the map. There's a lot of places, a lot of ways to get in these different camping spots, so the camping spots aren't as annoying as they may be on some other maps. And there are a lot of outdoor areas to this map, so it does make streaks kind of useful and kind of good. I like where the B flag is on domination. It's a very good position. And I don't know, man. It's a good map, and a lot of people have agreed with me on that, so I don't think I'm in the minority at all. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this ranking. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What maps you think are the best? What maps you think are the worst? And we'll have a conversation about it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.